Alright, welcome in everybody. Today we have Game 3, the series finale between the Athletics and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Merrill Kelly will be on the mound for the D-backs. 5.20 ERA, 7-8 on the year. It's going to be interesting as the first two games we had Mitch Bratt and Cole Drake. Two young guns on the mound, now we got the veteran. Alright, and once again in the leadoff spot, Jacob Wilson is going to be leading off the game for the A's. And I'm hoping that at this point, especially with a veteran on the mound, we kind of just learned that we cannot give anything good to hit to Jacob Wilson, as that's a fastball right down the middle to start it off, but ironically. But this guy's just been tearing it up. That's going to be another strike. Curveball drops in on the outside. Great pitch from Merrill. But Merrill Kelly, he's been in the game for a while. He knows how to attack these hitters, especially if they're hot, so I'm not too worried. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's going to be in the dirt on the slider, low and away for ball one. And that's going to be a chopper down the third baseline, but that's going to go foul. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's going to be low and away once again on the changeup for ball two. Two balls, two strikes. And that's going to be in there. The swing on a miss on the changeup. Great pitch from Merrill Kelly. That's going to be out number one. As especially of how good Jacob Wilson has been with the bat in his hands this series. Very nice to get him the strikeout right there. That's going to bring up Tyler Soderstrom for the second hitter. This lineup. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be outside fastball, ball one. Gabriel Moreno gets the off days. Looks like James McCann is going to be behind the dish for the D-backs today. Here's the 1-0 pitch. He popped up foul. Soderstrom, he's had a bit of a quiet series, but a guy that can absolutely tear at the ball when he gets on it. That's going to be fouled off as well for strike two. One ball, two strikes. Big pitch from Merrill. Get set for ball two on the changeup. Langelier is waiting on deck. He homered yesterday. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's going to be popped up. Possible play on it. And that's actually going to be out of play. Looks like James McCann did not have a great eye on that ball as he kind of hesitated at first, but nonetheless, got out of play. And once again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And here's the pitch. That's going to be a line drive right past Ketel Marte at second. That's some great contact right there. The ball just shot off the bat in a heartbeat. That's going to be a runner on first base with 1 out. Here comes Shea Langeliers. He's 2 for 8 this series. He had a home run yesterday, I believe. As the A's get a runner on base early on in this inning. That's going to be strike 1, a sinker on the outside. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be inside for ball 1 on the sinker. And Carlos Cortez, the right fielder, waits on deck. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be a big swing and a miss on the slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Langelier is looking to protect right here with down 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a slider outside for ball 2. So far, the A's just making Merrill Kelly work right now. Not giving him easy outs. It's going to be even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be chopped foul. Count remains the same. Once again, here's the pitch. That's going to be a line drive past the glove of Perdomo. Perdomo, I thought he might die for it, but didn't really make a play for it. Probably thought it was 2 out of his reach. There's now going to be runners on first and second early on in the first inning. And there is still 1 out. As Perdomo did try lunging at it, but did not go full extension to go for that. Might have not been possible anyway, but look at those black cleats that Perdomo is wearing today. Those are sharp. Would love to make a play. Would have loved to make a play in those cleats, but comes up empty there. It's going to bring up Carlos Cortez. He's playing in right field today. Came in a pinch hit yesterday for the first time in the series, and I'm honestly pretty surprised that he's not a starter in this lineup right now. I mean, unless he's just been on a really big slump recently. He's batting 280, 801 OPS. He's down 1-0. That's going to be a ground ball to second. Cattell flips to Perdomo. That's going to go to first, and that's going to be a double play to end the top of the first inning. Great recovery by Merrill Kelly after the second and third hitters in this lineup get on base. And we're going to go to the bottom of the first. It's still tied 0-0. All right, and here comes Gage Jump, who's starting for the A's today. He has a 3-5 record, 3.78 ERA. He started out the season pretty hot, but has looked pretty. I don't want to say bad, but has just not looked as solid in his past 3 starts. As Cattell's going to be down 0-1 to start this at bat. That's going to just miss the outside corner, low and away for ball 1. I'll go over the stats for Jump in his past 3 games after this pitch. Here's the 1-1 pitch, though. That's going to be grounded to shortstop. Tough play for Jacob Wilson. Was about to throw off balance and make an insane jumping throw, but just probably didn't believe that he had a chance at that. And Ketel Marte is going to get on base with a leadoff single. And looking at Gage Jump's stats in his last 3 starts, he's actually lost all of them in his last 3 starts. He's pitched 3 innings in 2 of those. He went 5 and 2/3 in one of them. In order, he's given up 3 earned runs in his last start, only 1 in the last one before that, and then 5 in the one before that. So it's been kind of a roller coaster in terms of his last 3 starts. Just hasn't been consistent as he was at the start of the season. And Perdomo is going to be ahead 2-0 for this at bat. And even though Gage Jump has been struggling, still definitely the best pitcher the D-backs have faced this series in regards to Jeffrey Springs and I'm blanking. Perkins. Forget his first name. But here's a 3-0 pitch as Perdomo's ahead. That's going to be a strike. Questionable calls it kind of outside, but Perdomo's not going to challenge that. 3 balls, 1 strike to Perdomo. Here's the pitch to Perdomo. He's actually going to go over to first base. He could tell. Close to first. And Jeff McNeil is actually going to be starting at first base. Kind of surprised to see that, but Perdomo still ahead 3-1. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 4. As back-to-back runners get on base to start off this bottom of the first inning for the D-backs. Quintel hits a nice base knock. Perdomo works the walk. A great start for the D-backs offense. Now Corbin Carroll up to bat. It's going to be Corbin Carroll, Gabriel Moreno, and Nolan Arenado. Next three hitters, including Carroll. Let's see if Corbin Carroll can make something happen this game. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a first pitch swing. He's going to hit it right to second. That's going to be flipped to short. And that's going to be a double play. As the last thing the D-backs want in that situation. Great contact from Corbin. 106 miles per hour off the bat, but right at Walton at second. Even with Corbin's speed, no chance of beating that throw out at first. And quickly, it's going to be 2 outs. There's a runner at third base, but unfortunately, there's 2 outs now. Here comes Gabriel Moreno. He's been he's had a decent series, 2 for 7 so far. But he's also just had great plate discipline recently and just walking pretty consistently. He's going to be up in the count 1-0. Looking to extend that on base streak. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Moreno. That's going to be in there for strike one on the fastball. One ball, one strike to Moreno. Here's the pitch. That's going to be slider just gets inside, low and inside there for ball 2. As the D-backs have a great chance to strike early. In the bottom of the first inning right here. 2 outs though, as Moreno needs to capitalize here. Here's a 2-1 pitch. And that's just going to clip the outside part of the zone. Moreno's going to challenge it, but I believe he's going to lose this as it just clipped the outside. And here's a challenge. And unfortunately, it did just clip the outside. D-backs going to lose that challenge, and they're down to 1 challenge in the bottom of the first inning, which not a great start. I mean, Gabriel Moreno's usually been pretty good when it comes to those challenges, whether it's behind the plate. You know, he sees the ball very well, but very unfortunate to already be down to 1 challenge in the bottom of the first. It's going to be a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. And he's going to swing and miss at that fastball right down the middle. Cannot catch up to the heat. That's going to be 99 miles per hour. And just like that, the D-backs go scoreless in the bottom of the first, even though getting runners on first and second. Eventually getting that runner to the third. And we now go to the top of the second inning. And that's going to be a first pitch swing and miss to Donovan Walton. He's going to be in the 5 spot today. Gets to start at second base. That's going to be a ball on the fastball. Going to be Walton, Tommy White, and Jeff McNeil this inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be a curveball that misses inside in the dirt. Donovan Walton had such a clutch triple in the top of the ninth. Helped the A's tie this game yesterday. It was a big part of that comeback. Now going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes as Walton chops that one foul. All right, the count is even 2-2. Here's a pitch from Kelly. And that's going to be a curveball that misses low. Walton does not bite on it. And it's going to be a full count. As once again, A's making Merrill Kelly work as Kelly's already had 25 pitches. Here's the full count pitch. That's going to be grounded to second base, right to Cattell. Nice hop for him. He's going to throw to first for the first out. And just like that, 1 down for the A's. That's going to bring out D-backs killer, Tommy White. As he didn't have as good of a game in the second game of the series as he did the first game, but the first game was just so excellent that it's going to be hard to match that no matter what. But he still had 2 base knocks, I believe, the second game. Here's the first pitch to Tommy White. Surprise, he takes that sinker right down the middle. He's just been aggressive all series. He's 6 for 10 this series. Jeez, man. He's going to be down 0-1 after taking the sinker right down the middle. Here's the next pitch. They're going to call that a strike. A cutter that was absolutely low and away. Not really near the zone at all. And Tommy Kelly does not like, or sorry, Tommy White does not like that call at all, but. And he's going to ground that one a short. Not a lot of speed at all that came off the bat right there, and that's going to be out number 2. As Tommy White is not very pleased with that. He gets a very questionable strike call on the second pitch, and then swings at almost at a pitch in the dirt. As that questionable strike call just absolutely threw off his rhythm there. Has to protect being down 2 strikes. Just like that's going to bring out Jeff McNeil with 2 outs in this inning. That curveball is going to miss outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be similar location as the first one. That curveball is also going to be outside for ball 2. Here's a 2-0 pitch. That's going to be a sharp grounder to first. Great play by Vargas. He's going to flip it to Kelly as he meets him there. And that's going to be out number 3. Great inning by Kelly there. A lot better than the first inning. No runners get on base. Very quick to get out of there. And just like that, we're going to go to the bottom of the second as the game is still 0-0. And like I mentioned, the A's definitely making Merrill Kelly work in this game. But that first inning was already not off to the greatest start. Runners get on first and second. A's forced Kelly to go deep in accounts, but nice quick inning right there to kind of bounce back after the first one that took a while. And just like that, we are going to see Arenado, Vargas, and James McCann. They will be hitting in the bottom of the second. Looking around the league, I'm gonna take a look at what games I need to pay attention to. I know some teams play later on in the day, but there are definitely some teams playing right now. So the Pirates are beating the Yankees. That's going to be a big game to pay attention to. It's actually in the top of the 10th. And the Pirates have bases loaded with only one out. So Pirates have the opportunity to do a lot of damage right now to take this game against the Yankees. Um, Giants are losing to the Royals 5-3 at the top of the 8th. Nationals and Rockies are still tied 0-0 in the top of the 4th. Reds are still tied 0-0 in the middle of the 2nd. The Cardinals are about to start their game against the Angels. They just had a rough series against LA. And then actually the Pirates do play a doubleheader, as I believe their game was postponed yesterday, so they actually played 2 games today. And here's the first pitch to Nolan Arenado. That's going to be a fastball in there for strike 1. And the Red Sox, hopefully they play today. I want to see... Oh, the Red Sox, they won the first game. They also have a doubleheader, I forgot. And the Red Sox extend their win streak to 15 games. That is insane, man. And Nolan Arenado is going to be... He's going to have a 1-1 count to work with. Oh my gosh. If the Red Sox win the doubleheader like both games today, who knows when that winning streak is going to stop, man. That's crazy. That's going to be in the dirt on the changeup, ball 2. It's going to be interesting to see if Gage Jump can have a calmer inning. Similar to Merrill Kelly, runners got on first and second for Gage Jump in that first. Had a nice double play though, but could have been worse. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Arenado. And that's going to be well inside. That almost gets Arenado on the fastball. Going to be now 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Arenado. And that's going to be another one that's well inside. He almost hits Arenado there again. That was even worse than the last one. As Arenado is fortunate to get out of that without being hit. Nonetheless, he gets on base as he draws the walk. It's going to be runner on first base with no outs. And that's going to bring up Eldarmo Vargas. As Vargas was the walk-off hero yesterday, but that's going to be a chopper to pitcher. And unfortunately, that's going to be a double play. I thought Vargas might be able to beat that out on the slow chopper to the pitcher, but Vargas does not have the greatest speed, and unfortunately, another Diamondbacks double play as they hit into that one. It's now going to be 2 outs, no runners on base now. Here comes James McCann, who's starting behind the dish today for Gabriel Moreno. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to miss upstairs for ball 1. 1-1 they count. My bad, it's going to be 2-0. Here's a 2-0 pitch to McCann. That's going to be chopped to the opposite field. That might drop. And that's going to be a blooper that drops in there between the first baseman and the right fielder. Just both players unable to get to it. And just a nice hit right there. Even though it's not the best contact, lands in there for a base hit. And McCann gets the first base. It's going to be 2 outs with a runner on first. Here's the first pitch to Tim Tall. That's going to be a fastball in there. 97 miles per hour for strike 1. And Tim Tawa has definitely cooled down since that LA series and that series against St. Louis. He's 1 for 9 this series. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be in there for strike 2 on the changeup. Tawa's down early 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Tawa. He's going to chase at that one up high. Nowhere near it. And that's going to be strike 3 as a very quick at bat for Tawa. And once again, Gage jumps, gets out of it. Runner gets on base, but gets a nice double play. Gets a nice strikeout to end the inning as we go to the top of the 3rd inning. Still 0-0. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be paying attention to that second game of the doubleheader for the Red Sox. If they can win 16 games in a row, man. Like, oh my gosh. To be a Boston Red Sox fan right now, that just has to be the most uplifting thing to see. I mean, as I mentioned the other day, they were like, what? They were like 10 games below 500 at least. Just nowhere near a wild card spot, and now they literally have the 3rd spot. Last time I checked yesterday, they have the 3rd spot um, locked down right now. And we head to the top of the 3rd for the A's. And it's now going to be Lawrence, Butler, Jonah Heim, and then back to the top of the order, Jacob Wilson for the top of the 3rd for the A's. Here's the first pitch to Lawrence Butler. He's first pitch swinging. He's going to foul that one off. And Butler's had a nice series. He's 3 for 7. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Butler. That's going to be a fly ball. As Tawa comes in a little bit. Doesn't have to run that much though. And that's going to be out number 1. And that's going to bring up Jonah Heim, who's been all over the lineup this series. Yesterday he was batting in the cleanup spot. Now he's in the 9th spot. So he's just trying to find a nice place for him, I guess. That's going to be outside for ball 1 on the cutter. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to just land on the inside part of the zone for strike 1 on the fastball. One ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be fouled back for strike 2. As Merrill Kelly looking to make this another quick inning. This will be his 38th pitch, so he's doing pretty solid so far. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a line drive to right center, and that's actually going to get into the gap. And Tim Tebow is going to corral that before it gets to the wall. And Jonah Heim is going to coast into second base with a double. It's now going to be a runner on second with one out. Great piece of hitting for Jonah Heim there. And that's going to be a first pitch slider in the dirt for Jacob Wilson as he looks at that one for ball one. He struck out in the first inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a big hack and a miss at the changeup that's low for strike one. One ball, one strike to Jacob Wilson. And that's going to miss low on the sinker. Ball two. All right, 2 balls, one strike to Jacob Wilson. That's going to be a ground ball that just gets past the glove of Vargas. They're going to wave Okay, it looked like they were going to wave him for a second, but he was rounding third base in tension there, but he's actually going to be stopped at third base. It's now going to be runners on first and third. One out. That's a nice base knock for Jacob Wilson. There's another guy just terrorizing the D-backs this series. Him and Tommy White. And here comes Tyler Soderstrom. He's 1-for-1 with a single in the first. And has an opportunity to give the A's the lead. With runners on the corners. One out. And that's going to be a first pitch ball. Change up low. One ball, no strikes. Kelly sets. He's actually going to throw over to first. Trying to keep Jacob Wilson close. He's going to get in there safely. One ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to just clip the outside of the zone. Great changeup right there. The Soderstrom watches that one go by. That's going to be strike one. 1-1 the count. One ball, one strike. Kelly sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be popped up. And it's going to be out of play. Strike two. If Kelly can get the strikeout right here, that would just be huge. To put up 2 outs on the board. And just force Langoliers to get a base hit in his next at-bat. Big pitch right here for Kelly. And Soderstrom's not going to bite at the changeup. It's low in the dirt for ball two. Counts even at 2-2. Here's a pitch from Kelly. That's going to be grounded. Chopper. And it is going to be foul. As Vargas picks it up as it was foul. He would try to go in home with it. Would have been a very close play at the plate, but we're going to do the count again. Alright, Kelly. Let's see what you got. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be well inside on the fastball. Not going to be a full count. This is a very big pitch right here. McCann's gonna come out to talk to Kelly just to make sure. Actually, no, he's just gonna give signs to the infield. But no matter what, a big pitch right here for Kelly. You do not want to put Soderstrom on with the bases loaded with Shea Langoliers coming up to bat. Not a very good situation at all if that happens. So it's going to be a full count, though. Big pitch from Kelly coming up. He's set. And he's going to go over to first. And once again, Wilson gets back there safely. Great move from Kelly there, but just not quick enough. And Kelly's approaching 50 pitches. Here's the big one. Here's the pitch. That's going to be grounded foul. Full count once again. Welcome, D. Purcell, to the stream. Full count for Merrill Kelly. This is a big pitch. And that's going to be grounded to second. And not going to be quick enough to get out at home or at second. It's only going to be a force out at first. And just like that, the A's strike first and they take a 1-0 lead. There's now a runner on second base with 2 outs still. And that grounder was just not hit fast enough for Ketel Marte to make a play on it. Couldn't even get the double play at second. Yeah, welcome, Deeper. So I had quite a few people yesterday who had parlays on the game yesterday, and I don't know if you caught it, but such an intense game at the very end. Jacob Wilson ties it in the top of the ninth of a 2-run home run, and the D-backs walk it off. Just complete back and forth action. And Langoliers, he's going to foul that one off. It's going to be a 1-1 count. 2 outs of a runner on second base. And Merrill Kelly just needs to get out of this inning right here without giving up any more runs. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 2. With speed on the base pass to second base of Jacob Wilson. Definitely could get scary. Here's the next pitch. That's going to be a big swing and miss on the changeup. Blowing inside. It's going to be strike 2. 2-2 the count. It's going to be Carlos Cortez waiting on deck. Looking at getting that bat if Langoliers can somehow get on and extend this inning. Here's a big pitch. It's going to be fouled off down the line. Count remains the same. And so far, just if you're curious, D. Purcell, Gage Jump, the starting pitcher for the A's, he's looked pretty solid so far. He's been pretty shaky his last 3 starts, so he's definitely gone off to a better start this game. Here's a 2-2 pitch, though. He's going to take off to third. And no throw from James McCann as Jacob Wilson's going to get into third base pretty easily with a stolen base. Full count right here for Shea Langoliers. That was Jacob Wilson's 3rd steal of the season. Here's a big pitch right here, full count. And that's going to be a big swing and miss on the inside changeup, low and inside. Great pitch from Merrill Kelly there. And that's going to get the D-backs out of this inning as the A's do strike first. As Tyler Soderstrom gets a nice fielder's choice. And we're going to head to the bottom of the 3rd with the A's striking first. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, I was looking at the stats too. I try to do that for every starting pitcher when I commentate these games. Um, I mean, last game he went against the Nationals, which is a very tough lineup in my opinion. They just hit the ball when they're on, they are on. It's all about them just being consistent. But then the start before that, he went against the White Sox. Also have a great lineup. They can just smash it out of the park. So he only gave it one earned run in that White Sox start. So even though he hasn't been as hot as he started this season, I don't think he's doing terrible. Honestly, he's definitely been the best starting pitcher out of the A's have had so far in this series, with Jeffrey Springs and Perkins pitching the first two games. Yeah, no worry, deeper. So I'm gonna be commentating this whole game. So anytime you want to come in and just check in on how it's doing, um, no worries at all. Go kill it at your job. Um, but yeah, that's gonna bring up. Let's see who's hitting for the D-backs. That's gonna bring up Ryan Waldschmidt. Then we go to the top of the order with Ketel Marte and Geraldo Perdomo. Here's the first pitch to Waldschmidt. He's gonna be first pitch swinging. That one's gonna go opposite field or right field. But Cortez is gonna get under that pretty easily. Almost went to the warning track, but that's gonna be out number one. Not bad contact from Waldschmidt there. And it's gonna be one down. That's gonna bring up the top of the order with Ketel Marte. He had a pretty nice single to lead off the game. Let's see what he can do in his next at bat. And that's gonna be a strike. 96 miles per hour fastball. No balls, one strike. Here's the pitch to Marte. Ooh, not a great pitch to swing at. He chops that one on the first, and McNeil's going to field that. He's going to hustle to first to tag first base, and that's going to be out number two. A quick 2 outs for the D-backs right here. As that was not a great pitch to swing at from Marte. High and in on the hands. He just fights that one off, and not a great start in the bottom of the third for this D-backs offense. That's going to bring up Geraldo Perdomo. He was able to get on first base in the first inning with a base on balls. And here's the first pitch from Jump. That's going to be in there for strike one. As he just firing fastballs in there. And this is going to be the 32nd pitch for Gage Jump, who's doing very solid with the pinch count. No balls, one strike to Geraldo Perdomo. Here's the pitch. That's going to be low, as a changeup just misses the bottom of the zone. It's going to be ball one. And looking at these quick stats they have on the TV, he's 0 for 4 in his last 4 games, 7.41 ERA. So Gage Jump absolutely just looking to make this a much better start, and it's looking that way so far. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's just going to clip the bottom of the zone on the curveball. Great pitch from Jump. It's now going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Gage Jump has an opportunity to make this a very quick inning. He starts his windup for the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Here we go. And that's just going to clip the inside of the zone. What great pitches from Gage Jump, though. As that fastball just clips the inside. Perdomo watches that go by, and that's going to be the end of the bottom of the third inning as we head to the top of the fourth. As the A's are still up 1-0. As that absolutely was Gage Jump's best inning so far. Location-wise, he was just clipping the zone. Very borderline pitches that makes it tough for the D-backs to swing at. And we're going to head to the top of the fourth, just like that. That was a very impressive inning from him. Okay, if Gage Jump is pitching like that, this could be a very tough ball game for the D-backs. Not a great start offensively, other than the first two guys who got on base in the first inning, but and it looks like it's going to be Carlos Cortez, Donovan Walton, and Tommy White. They will be hitting top of the fourth for the A's. And so it looks like the Pirates do end up taking that first game of the doubleheader against the Yankees. Nationals and Rockies are still tied. Reds and Mariners are tied 1-1 in the top of the fourth. And it's still a 0-0 ball game for the Cardinals and Angels. So definitely some important games I'm going to be paying attention to. I am a Diamondbacks fan. I'm a on this channel. It's pretty much going to be any Arizona sports team that I'm a fan of. I'm going to be live commentating them. I just kind of started actually like a few days ago. Um, but since the Diamondbacks, especially being in baseball, and there's so many games, pretty much every day, they're definitely going to be the team that I cover the most on this channel. Um, but yeah, I am a Diamondbacks fan. And you're talking about the Pirates game that I just mentioned? It's going to be a 1-1 count to Carlos Cortez. He's 0 for 1. He's leading off the top of the fourth. Merrill Kelly, this is going to be his 60th pitch, as that pitch count is just going up and up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's going to be a strike 3 as Cortez watches the cutter go by. It was in their great location for Cortez, but just could not pull the trigger. That's going to be out number 1 on the strikeout. Going to be 1 down, and here comes Donovan Walton at second base. Yeah, so essentially, if you're ever putting a parlay on either the Diamondbacks or a team facing the Diamondbacks, you're more than welcome to come join the stream and see what's going on in the game. It's going to be a 1-0 count, though, for Donovan Walton. 1 down. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in the dirt. Change up low for ball 2. As Merrill Kelly, I know I just mentioned it, but he's already at 63 pitches. This is not good. 2-0. And that's going to be a sharp grounder down the line. It's going to be foul, though, for strike 1. And honestly, it's just the age just making him work. I mean, it's not like Carroll's given up. Or sorry, Kelly's given up a lot of runs. It's only 1-0 in the game. Here's a 2-1 pitch. And that's going to be a swing and miss on the low changeup. But the A's have just been making Kelly just working the deep counts. And as a result, Kelly may not be able to go that much longer in this game. It's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out. Kelly starts his windup. Here's the pitch. And that's going to miss outside on the changeup. It's going to be a full count. Appreciate you, D Purcell. That means a lot, honestly. Thank you, man. That's going to be ball 4. As Donovan Walton is going to get on first base. As there's now a runner on first base, so 1 out. Yeah, I'm still fairly new to the commentating, so honestly, these first few games have just been practice for me. But I appreciate that comment. That actually means a lot to me. I really, really appreciate that. And it's going to be a runner on first base of 1 out. Kelly's going to pick off the first right away, but Walton's going to get back safely. And that's going to bring up Tommy White, who has just been I'm going to say it every single time he comes up to bat. He has just been absolutely killing the D-backs. 6 for 11 in the series. The kid out of LSU is just going crazy this series. And that's going to be another quick pickoff to first. Once again, Walton gets back safely. Nice. I saw that game went into the 10th inning, so I'm sure that was not a great game, like heart rate wise, to be following. But nice job, man. Here's the first pitch to Tommy White, though. It's going to be in the dirt. 1-0 the count off after the changeup. No worries, my friend. Anytime you can join, you are always welcome. So don't even sweat it. I will say, yeah, the D-back games usually they start off pretty late, especially for the people in the Eastern time zone. And there goes Walton. He's going to try stealing second, and he's going to be gunned down by James McCann. Not a very close play at all. As it was a great throw, but I don't think it was the best jump from Donovan Walton. Let's see the replay. Actually, he did get a pretty good jump, but just a great throw from James McCann. Great release, great pop-up time. And that is going to be out number 2. It's now going to be 1 ball, 1 strike for Tommy White. He's actually going to ground that one right to Perdomo at shortstop. He's going to field that one cleanly, throw to first base. And that's going to be a quick inning for Merrill Kelly as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Great bounce back from Kelly there. It's going to be Corbin Carroll, Gabriel Moreno, and Nolan Arenado to start the bottom of the 4th. It is still a 1-0 lead for the A's. Alrighty. Do you have a team that you mainly like root for or you follow a lot? Or or you mainly just, keep parlays on them and kind of that's your thing? Um Looking around the league, it's really just the Cardinals game that I'm gonna be paying attention to. I mean, the Reds, yeah, the Reds are 6 games back in the wild card race, so they're not too important right now. It's mainly just the Nationals versus the Rockies game and Cardinals versus Angels. Those are going to be 2 games I got to keep watching. As St. Louis is now a game back, right behind us, and then the Nationals are 2 games back. Very important games there. Bro, D Purcell, you are the man. Thanks, brother. Really appreciate you for that. That's awesome. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's really just a lot about like I do tend to not necessarily stutter, but if I try to get my words out too quickly, they kind of come out, jumbled and just not clear at all. So honestly, if I can just work on that a lot and just have my words come out more smoothly, I think that's going to be a big thing for me. Um, and also just like if a play happens, I gotta be able to say the right thing immediately, right? I can't say an incorrect thing. And Corbin Carroll's gonna be first pitch swinging. That's gonna get to left field and way back, and that's gonna be a home run to tie the ball game. Attaboy, Corbin. That was a long fly ball, had a lot of carry to it. I thought Soderstrom might just get under it in left field and make the catch for the fly ball. But just like that, we are tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Great job by Corbin Carroll there. Oh, wow, okay. And hopefully that builds some momentum for this offense. We just keep it going. And there we go. Woo. All right, and that's going to bring up Gabriel Moreno. As I mentioned, Corbin Carroll first pitch swinging on that one. Saw one he liked and just took it to opposite field. Oh, you're a Braves fan? Ooh, that's going to be a line drive to the hot corners. But sorry, not Cortez. Tommy White's able to handle that one cleanly after the fumble. Goes out the first, and Moreno's going to be out. Why is being a? I got you. Here comes Nolan Arenado. And he's going to give that one a drive to left field. That one's way back. And that's going to be another home run for the Diamondbacks. And just like that, they did take a 2-1 lead. As Nolan Arenado has just been on fire recently. We already know he has the glove, but if he can just maintain that bat. Oh, what a signing. As ever since hitting that 2,000 hit of his career, he has just been on fire. He has just been on a roll. And just like that, Gage Jump has given up 2 quick solo shots. Wow. And that first home run from Corbin Carroll had a lot of carry to it. I wasn't sure if it was going to get out, but that Nolan Arenado one, that was a no-doubter. That got out of there in a hurry. And just like that, the D-backs have a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. Just curiosity, why is being a Braves fan hard? I was going to say, like, are they not doing good? But I'm pretty sure they're first place, right, in their division. Is it because of, like, trying to be able to watch them? Like, based on where you live, maybe? And that's going to be a hit for Vargas. As so far, this has been a very rocky inning for Gage Jump. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. But yeah, going back to your football comment, um, I'm hoping that when the NFL season starts, I mean, like I mentioned, I'm an Arizona fan, so I'm also a fan of the Cardinals. I'm hoping to also commentate those games once a week, and kind of balancing out the D-backs and the Cardinals. I believe week 1 is around like the beginning of September, I believe. So the D-back season will still be going on. Um, But yeah, I'm also a huge football fan too. Like, there's something about the NFL season. Um, don't get me wrong, I love my baseball and I love catching a baseball game pretty much every day. But it's just something about football, just the atmosphere. I don't know if it's because I also enjoy fantasy football a lot, but yeah, I'm very excited for the NFL season to start too. Are you a Falcons fan too? As they're from Atlanta as well, or? And that's gonna bring up James McCann, a runner on first base. 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. And that's going to miss outside low for ball 2. And unfortunately for Gage Jump, he was looking very solid to start this game. And just like that, only down 1 run, but he needs to recover. Run on first. 1 out. That's going to be a pitch in the dirt. And he's going to be behind 3-0 to James McCann. James McCann looking just to get on base here. Here's the pitch. And that's going to miss inside for ball 4 as Gage Jump throws 4 straight balls. He gives up a home run to Arenado, a base knock to Vargas, and he throws 4 straight balls to James McCann as he has not looked sharp this inning. It's now going to be runners on first and second with 1 out. And that's going to bring up Tim Tawa. And that's really cool that you're also interested in like betting on dogs. That also has to be pretty fun too, honestly. 1-0 count to Tim Tawa, as that's his 5th straight ball from Gage Jump. Here's the next pitch. That's going to be a big swing and miss, though, on the fastball. Lands on the lower part of the zone, as that was a good strike from Gage Jump to bounce back. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tim Tawa. Ah, okay, I got you. I was like, there's no way it's hard to be a fan because of the Braves, like how they're doing, because they're always dominant. That makes a lot of sense, though. Yeah, it's really unfortunate how just sports have just really expanded into like the streaming universe, and unless you pay for a subscription or something, like there's no way to catch a ball game anymore. Not even just for baseball. Pretty much every sport. That's gonna miss upstairs for ball two. It's gonna be 2-2 the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes at Tim Taw. Runners on the first and second, 1 out. Jump just looking to limit the damage here. And that's gonna be inside, up and in for ball three. It's gonna be a full count now. As Gage Jump is just looking to just not make it a bases loaded situation of 1 out. And that's going to be a big strike three for Gage Jump as he gets Tim Tawa swinging and missing on the high fastball. Big at number 2 for Gage Jump. He really needed that right there. Going to be runners on first and second still, but now there's going to be 2 outs, and it's going to bring up Ryan Waldschmidt, the young left fielder. Yeah, as soon as they started putting stuff on Netflix, like the Home Run Derby opening day, I'm like, okay, what are we doing, guys? Like, that is ridiculous. I should not have to have Netflix. Um, Especially if you just want to, like, if you're literally just getting Netflix for just like one event, and then you're not going to use it the rest of the time. It's just such a waste of money. It doesn't make any sense. It's so frustrating. That's going to be the count's going to be 1-0 to Ryan Waldschmidt. This is a big at bat right here. That's going to be a nice curveball. Lands in there for strike one. As Waldschmidt has an opportunity to do more damage for the D-backs and extend this lead, or just keep the inning going. And especially with Ketel Marte waiting on deck, the top of the lineup, you'd want to get Waldschmidt out right here. Here's the next pitch. That's going to be popped up foul out of play for strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. As this is going to be the 20th pitch of the inning for Gage Jump. The 54th pitch of the game. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a big swing and miss on the slider inside. Great recovery from Gage Jump there. He's going to get out of this inning with just giving up 2 runs. As the D-backs answer back of 2 solo shots, Corbin Carroll goes deep. Nolan Arenado goes deep. And just like that, the D-backs have the lead 2-1 as we head to the top of the 5th inning. All right. Before that inning against Gage Jump, I was getting a little nervous. But after those 2 solo shots, it does show that the D-backs can hit against him, and it's possible. So hoping that we're able to extend the lead and not just keep it a 2-1 lead. But I am concerned about Merrill Kelly. He is getting really up there in the pitch count. It looks like the bullpen's gonna have to come in pretty soon. And it's gonna be up to the bullpen to maintain this lead, it looks like, once Merrill Kelly comes out. Don't think we'll be that far away. Let's take a look at the league. Around the league really quick. So the Nationals do strike first in that Nationals versus Rockies game in the top of the 6th. They are up 1-0. Reds are up 2-1 against the Mariners, and it's still a 0-0 ball game against with the Cardinals and the Angels. Angels have 2 runners on base right here, right now, first and second with 2 outs. And I believe the Padres and Braves series, I think that's tied right now. So both teams going for a potential series win, I believe. Braves Country Radio. Okay, appreciate the recommendation. That's going to be a first pitch swing from McNeil. He's just in front of that. He drove that one deep, but that's going to be out of play. Is that like a social media page I can find? Like, or are you talking about like the actual radio station for the Braves? Or both? Oh no. Oh no. McNeil fouled that one off his knee, I think. Or what happened? I didn't even really get a good look. As Jeff McNeil, he's in a lot of pain on the ground. I really hope he fouled that off, like his body or something. That was not like not a non-contact injury. Oh, he fouls it right off his right knee, right off the kneecap. That does not feel good at all. Ooh, the YouTube channel. Okay, I'll definitely check them out. I appreciate that. As Jeff McNeil is still on the ground in a lot of pain. Looks like he's getting up now. I thought at first that he went down with a non-contact injury, and that's where I got really scared for a second. Like, I know it sounds weird saying that I hope he fouled it off his body, like it was a contact injury, but obviously non-contact is way worse. And yeah, that got right on the kneecap. Didn't miss any of it. Looks like he's trying to walk it off right here. All right. Yeah, it's definitely something I'm interested in, so I'll definitely check that out. I appreciate that. Yeah, I got a glimpse of that Tatis home run. Apparently what it was like the farthest home run hit so far in the MLB season by any player, like 474 feet. Which is crazy. I feel like there's been farther home runs, or like that shouldn't be the farthest one, but I mean it's still pretty great, honestly. And just like that, Jeff McNeil, he's back in the batter's box. He's ready to go. Here's the 0-2 pitch to him. And that's going to be a changeup in the dirt. He checks his swing, holds up in time. It's going to be ball 1. Oh yeah, dude. You do not want to mess with non-contact. Absolutely. That's what I was worried about at first. 1-2 strikes. He's also going to hold off on that changeup that's low. It's going to be 2-2 strikes. Nice bounce back from Jeff McNeil. Yeah, that's crazy. That was hammered. Two balls, 2 strikes. That's going to be fouled out of play to the left. Count remains the same. I don't know if you caught a glimpse of the first game between the D-backs and A's, but the rookie Joshua Kuroda-Grauer, as Jeff McNeil's going to take that for a ride. That's going down the line, and that's going to be into the bullpen for a home run to tie the game. Jeff McNeil. He said, I don't need my kneecap. I'm still going to hit this thing out. He goes 390 feet to right field as Jeff McNeil ties this game in the top of the 5th inning. Hey, you got to love to see that. I know it's against my D-backs, but to be able to take a shot like that to the kneecap and he immediately hits a home run to tie the game, that is very impressive. Good for him. And just like that, this game is tied 2-2 in the top of the fifth inning. What a shot from Jeff McNeil. And that's going to bring up Lawrence Butler. He's up ahead 1-0 in the count. And just like that, Merrill Kelly is at 78 pitches, so now looking good for him. Going to be 1 ball, 1 strike to Lawrence Butler. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a swing and a miss on the outside changeup for strike 2. I'll go back to what I was saying before that home run. That kind of just caught me off guard. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Lawrence Butler. That's going to be in the dirt for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But anyway, in the first game of the series between the D-backs and A's, the rookie Joshua Kuroda Grauer, I think his name is number 44. He like fouled it off his crotch, bro. It was terrible. I don't even think he was wearing a cup. Lawrence Butler holds off on that check swing. It's going to be a full count. And he ends up, the rookie ended up rupturing his testicle, which is an awful sentence to say. And that's going to be a pop-up. Looks like the center field. Tawa doesn't have to move much, and that's going to be out number 1 in the top of the fifth inning. Yeah, Jeff McNeil, he was definitely trotting around the base paths. And usually you get mad at that because that means, the guy's taking his time celebrating his home run, but in this case we'll give him a pass. Obviously it was not for that reason. It's going to be a 1-0 count. Here comes Jonah Heim. Our bullpen, it's been pretty solid, I would say. That's going to be upstairs for ball 2. Um, I would say it's in the middle of the pack when it comes to Major League Baseball. It's not like the best out there, but it's pretty solid, honestly. And that's going to be a fly ball to right field. This might be a play from Corbin Carroll. He's actually going to get under in foul ball territory. And that's going to be the second out of the inning. But our starting pitching has been pretty trash recently. So our bullpen has had to step it up a lot. Maybe that's why they just, been pitching in a lot of games recently. I want to say if guys like Taylor Clark, Jonathan Loizaga, if they come into this game, Juan Mario, should be a pretty solid appearance from them. They've been pretty good this year. But Paul Sewald, he did not look good last night, man. I know he doesn't come in unless it's a closing opportunity, but he's been scaring me recently. It's gonna be a 1-0 count to Jacob Wilson. He's gonna ground out the third. Nolan Arenado picks that out of the air. Sorry, and that's gonna be the third out of the top of the fifth. And we're gonna go to the bottom of the fifth as Jeff McNeil is able to tie the game with a solo shot of his own to right field. D-backs and A's have 5 hits apiece. As we go to the bottom of the fifth, this game is tied 2-2. Yeah, I know, man. I know. That was my exact thought too when I saw that. Yeah, I think he had to have emergency surgery if I read that correctly the other day. After he fouled that off his no-no area. Like that's how bad it was. Like you see that all the time, but you know, I feel like most players are smart and they wear cups, but with how much pain he was in and with what happened, like I feel like he wasn't wearing a cup for some reason. There's some players I don't know why, but they just take that risk, and I get it. Maybe it does. It is a bit uncomfortable. You know, I did play baseball growing up, so yeah, it can be a bit uncomfortable. But if you take a shot down there, it's way worse. It's well worth being a little bit uncomfortable. You know, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know 100% on whether or not he was wearing a cup, but my guess is he wasn't. Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah, like, that's scary, man. Yeah, as soon as I saw the word ruptured, I was like, okay, this is very serious. But yeah, we're gonna head to the bottom of the fifth inning. It is gonna be Ketel Marte starting the bottom of the fifth for the D-backs. It's gonna be Marte, Perdomo, Corbin Carroll. And that's going to be a shot past the third baseman as White cannot get a glove on it. That's going to go all the way to the wall down the line, and that's going to be a leadoff double for Ketel Marte to start off the bottom of the fifth inning. As he's had a nice game at the plate today. And that's going to be a runner on second base with no outs to start off the inning. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime a little leaguer complains, well, here's Exhibit A, kids. And I guarantee you, here's the first pitch to Perdomo. And I guarantee you, if the kids don't get persuaded to wear cups, the parents are gonna have something to say about that. So you're right. He may have just started a movement. Here comes Perdomo. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. He's down 0-1 though in the count, and that's gonna be a chopper to second base, as it is gonna be out number one of the inning as he throws the first base on time. But Marte is gonna move up to third base, and it's now gonna be a runner on third base with one out. And Corbin Carroll has an opportunity to do more damage as he had a solo home run in that last at bat of his, and now has an opportunity to give the D-backs back the lead with a runner on third base, one out. Here's the first pitch to Carroll. That's going to be fouled back to the backstop. One strike. No balls, one strike to Corbin Carroll. Here's the pitch from Jump. That's going to be a fastball that's outside for ball one. One ball, one strike. And it looks like Gerardo Carrillo is going to be warming up in the D-backs bullpen, who just got called up recently. He's actually going to be making his MLB debut, so that's going to be very interesting. As Torey Lovullo feels like he can put the rookie reliever in a situation to keep this lead, or not the lead, but to maintain a tie ball game. That's going to be very interesting. It has me very worried, but I hope the kid can perform. It's going to be 2 balls, 1 strike to Corbin Carroll. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a big swing and miss at the high fastball, 96 miles per hour. Two balls, 2 strikes to Carroll. Gabriel Moreno waits on deck. One out. Jump starts his windup. Here's the pitch. That's going to be fouled back. 100 miles per hour on the fastball. As the count remains the same. Jump is at 63 pitches. Still not doing terrible. Maybe able to go a little bit longer depending on if you can get out of this inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes once again after the foul ball from Carroll. And here's the pitch. That's going to be fouled back once again. Is Corbin Carroll just battling off some tough pitches? Not being an easy out. Come on, Corbin. Once again, we're going to do 2 balls, 2 strikes once again. Here's the pitch to Corbin. And that's going to be a curveball. Just misses the inside part of the zone. Great take from Corbin. It's going to be 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Carroll just looking to get on any way he can right here. Big pitch front right here. And actually, Corbin Carroll's going to call time as we await the full count pitch. Big pitch from jump. Here's the full count pitch. And it's going to be another foul ball as Corbin fouls off the sweeper. This is going to be the 9th pitch of the at-bat as Corbin Carroll's just being super pesky right here. Jump starts his windup. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a chopper right to Jacob Wilson. He's going to look Marte back to third base. He's going to fire to first. And that's going to be out number 2. A big out that Gage Jump gets right there. And a nice defensive play from Jacob Wilson at shortstop. It's going to be 2 outs with still a runner on third base. And here comes Gabriel Moreno. And today he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. He's reached base safely in 18 consecutive games. And he's in danger of giving up that streak today. He's 0 for 2. Here's the first pitch to Moreno. That's going to be a big swing and miss on the slider, low and inside. Oh, 1 the count to Moreno as Jump is approaching 70 pitches. Looking to maintain this tie. 0-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be fouled back. Popped out of play. And just like that, Moreno's going to be down 0-2 in the count. And Jump is going to step off the mound, looking to settle down a little bit. Or there may have been Moreno calling time. I didn't quite see what Moreno was doing. No balls, 2 strikes to Gabriel Moreno. Here's a big pitch. That's going to be fouled off. And the count remains the same. Engaged Jump, another young kid out of LSU. I was not aware about that. Just like his teammate, Tommy White. Once again, we'll do the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Big at bat here. And here's the pitch. And Moreno's going to fight off that high fastball. Would have been a ball, but nonetheless swings and fouls that one off. It's going to be still no balls, 2 strikes. And Moreno's battling. Let's see if he can do it again. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in the dirt. That's going to go all the way to the backstop on the wild pitch. And just like that, unfortunately for Gage Jump, he was so close to getting out of the inning, and Ketel Marte is going to trot home as the wild pitch goes all the way to the backstop. Very unfortunate for the A's right there. They were so close to getting out of this inning. 0-2 count on Moreno, and just like that, it's a 3-2 ball game in favor of the Diamondbacks. It's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes to Moreno. And it's going to be ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes to Moreno. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a shot to left field. He drills that deep. And that's going to go to left center and get out of here. He drove that out of here for a solo shot of his own. And it's going to be 4-2 as Gage Jump is just unraveling right here. So close to maintaining that tie 2-2. And just like that, it's now a 4-2 ball game. And Gabriel Moreno was in danger of that on-base streak coming to an end. And just like that, he does the best thing he can do if a home run is he crushes it to left center. I got to see how far that went. Holy cow. Wow, what a shot from Moreno. Here comes Nolan Arenado up to bat, who had a home run of his own. And he goes down 0-1. No balls, 1 strike to Arenado. That's going to be just outside for ball 1. You got to feel for Gage Jump. He was looking so solid this game. And so far, the home run ball is just getting to him. As that's the 3rd home run he's given up at the ball game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a low curveball. As Arenado checks the swing, he holds up for ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a fastball that misses low for ball 3. As it looks like Junior Tur, definitely butchered that name. He is going to be warming up in the bullpen for the A's. It's going to be a 3-1 count to Arenado. Here's the pitch. That's going to be ball 4, high and inside. And that's going to be a runner on first, 2 outs. As D-backs looking to keep it going. Here comes the pitching coach to have a talk of Jump. As Jump just has to be so frustrated there. 1 strike away from maintaining the tie. To getting this game to go to the top of the 6th. And just like that, 2 runs come across. He walks Arenado there to extend the inning. And he just needs to calm down, settle down, and get this next guy out. With the way the A's have been hitting, this game is definitely not over. As I believe the A's have scored 5 runs in each game of the series, so this game is absolutely not over. So Jump just needs to settle down, get this guy out, and give it up to his offense. That's going to bring up Ildemaro Vargas, though, at first base. He's 1 for 2 today with a single. And this is going to be the 80th pitch for Gage Jump. As this looks like this might be his last inning no matter what. Here's the first pitch to Vargas. That's going to go all the... Excuse me, sorry. Air bubble. That's going to go all the way to the backstop. Another one that does. And that's going to be 1-0 to count for Vargas. As now Arenado moves up to second base. One ball, no strikes to Vargas. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in the dirt on the slider. It's going to be 2 balls, no strikes. Two balls, no strikes to Vargas. Here's the pitch. That's going to be inside, high and inside for strike one. Great pitch from Jump on the fastball. Two balls, one strike to Vargas. Jump sets. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be opposite hit field to right center. That's going to go all the way to the wall into the gap. And that's going to bring in Arenado from second base. And Vargas gets into second base with a double of his own. And just like that, the D-backs take a 5-2 lead. As this has just been a nightmare inning for Gage Jump. And that's going to be it for him. It's going to be a change in pitching as here comes Tur, the relief pitcher. And Vargas with a great shot to right center. That one splits the gap and goes all the way to the wall. And that was the 5th extra base hit of the day for the D-backs. It's a nice offensive day for them. And here comes Tur. As I mentioned, he will relieve Jump as we go to a commercial break. D-backs up 5-2 in the bottom of the 5th. I apologize, D Persa. I know this is not the way you're wanting this game to go. But like I said, the A's have been hot this series with the bat, so this game is not over. I don't care if the D-backs have a 5-run lead. They had a 5-run lead, or not 5-run lead, but they scored 5 yesterday, and the A's still came back. So, um, even with injuries, with Nick Kurtz being out, the A's have just been hitting very well this series. So, I'm not getting my hopes up yet. Take a look around the league. And the Nationals have just exploded. They are now up 5-0 in the top of the 7 versus the Rockies. So looks like they're going to take that game. Reds are losing to the Mariners 3-2, and it's still a tied ball game with the Cardinals versus Angels still 0-0 as the Angels are looking for the sweep. As that's in a very unexpected series, honestly. Um, let's take a look at Tur stats really quick. I got you. Yunier Tur, the right-hander. This is only his 2nd appearance for the A's. In his first appearance, he gave up 6 earned runs in 2 innings. Luckily, he just needs to get 1 out right here to get to the top of the 6th. And that's going to be a first pitch swing from James McCann. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, to the A's. This is just like that. First pitch swinging. That's a 2-run shot. It's going to be a 7-2 ball game for the D-backs. As James McCann gives that a ride 431 feet. And that's actually the 100th career home run for James McCann. What a great moment for him. As just like that, first pitch swinging. The D-backs go insane this inning as it's now 7-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. As I believe that was a slider right in the heart of the zone. Not a great pitch from him. Jeez, man. And Tim Tao was going to give that a right of his own. This is going to be a blooper into right center. That's going to go down for a base hit. As it does not matter who is coming in for the A's. The D-backs are just hot with the bat right now. Whoa. It is not that kind of lead. Okay, there we go. And for runner on first base, still 2 outs though. Here comes Ryan Waldschmidt. One ball, no strikes. And that's going to be a shot to left. Are you kidding me? It's a home run parade. And that's going to be the first career home run of Ryan Waldschmidt's career. Attaboy. And just like that, it is 9-2. As he joins the home run party. You love to see that 426 feet. He sends one to left field. As the D-backs just break it open. As they look to take the series in the bottom of the 5th inning, 9-2. Wow. As unfortunately for Tur, he comes in and immediately gives up 2 home runs. As what a great moment from Ryan Waldschmidt, the kid. Love to see that for him as he gets once again his first career MLB home run. Just recently got called up again. And that's gonna be that's gonna be a swing and miss on the splitter in the dirt. As Ketel Marte is down 0-2. As he's very aggressive in this at bat, as he's seeing what his teammates can do against this relief pitcher. He's trying to do the same, I believe. I'm so sorry, D. Purcell. No balls, 2 strikes. And that's gonna be a swing and miss, and not a great pitch to swing at, as he was just very aggressive, looking just to make contact in any way he can. And that's gonna be strike 3 on Ketel Marte as the inning is finally over. We're gonna go to the top of the 6th inning as the D-backs break it wide open. It's now 9-2 in favor of the D-backs, looking for that series win and their 3rd straight series win. Wow. I mean, I enjoyed seeing the home runs, but just knowing that that was Ryan Waldschmidt's first career home run, I mean, I've been rooting for him too ever since he's been called up, and that's just awesome to see. I mean, I mentioned it yesterday. Out of the 3 guys that have been called up, you know, young guys that were really looking to do some damage for this team, Ryan Waldschmidt, Tommy Troy, and Lou James Groover. Tommy Troy's been one of my favorites. Um, he's just been a lot more consistent than the other 2. I know Groover got sent down, and Ryan Waldschmidt just got called up, and he hasn't been the most consistent. But even then, seeing that home run from the kid was just awesome. I'm glad I got to see that live and call that one. Um, that's awesome. That is very cool. And I hate to rub salt in the wound, but yeah, I was literally giving you the stats for Tur, and of course he just gives up a meatball to James McCann, and I don't even have time to really finish the stats that I was going to tell you. And a big smile on the face of Ryan Swalchmit, as he's going to remember that moment for the rest of his career. And here comes Carrillo. I mentioned he was warming up earlier in the D-backs bullpen, making his Major League Baseball debut. And definitely doesn't have to worry too much about giving up the lead as he has a very big cushion in front of him. Give me 1 second. Okay. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To Tyler Soderstrom. And Soderstrom, he's 1 for 2 in this game. Single and an RBI ground out. As a D-backs bullpen, just looking to close this one out pretty easily the rest of the game. We should not need Paul Sewald as of right now. Ooh, and that goes right at Soderstrom's ankle. I think he just was able to jump out of the way. That was a scary pitch from Carrillo. It's a very awkward drop down from Soderstrom as he tries to avoid the pitch. Maybe ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Soderstrom. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a foul ball as he shatters the bat. And Soderstrom picks up a new bat. He steps back into the box. Two balls, 2 strikes to Soderstrom. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a drive to right. Gets a bit under it, though. Let's see if Corbin Carroll can get to it. That's a long way to run. And he's going to get under that for out number 1. Looked pretty good off the bat, but just a bit under it for Soderstrom. That's going to be the first out in the top of the 6th. Here comes Langoliers. He's 1 for 2 in this game with a single. He's going to miss inside for ball 1. That's going to be a cutter that misses inside as well. Just eats his hands up for ball 2. Now that's going to be a strike. Cutter just clips the inside of the zone for strike 1. Two balls, 1 strike to Langoliers. That's going to be another great pitch. Just clips the inside of the zone on the sweeper. Nice pitch from him. It's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, and Carlos Cortez waits on deck. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Langoliers. Rio's set. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a drive to left center. That's going to drop in there for a base hit. It's going to be a runner on first base with 1 out. As A is just looking to get any rally going here. Here comes Carlos Cortez. He's 0 for 2, grounded into a double play. Struck out earlier. Here's the first pitch to him. That's going to miss low and outside on the cutter for ball 1. One 0 is the count. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss outside and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Once again, 2 balls, no strikes to Cortez. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a swing and a miss. Sinker that's low, but takes a big hack and comes up empty for strike 1. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball right to Ketel Marte. He's going to fire to second, going to first, and that's going to be a double play to end the top of the 6th as Carlos Cortez slams his helmet on the ground and he's frustrated. And we're going to head to the bottom of the 6th as the D-backs are still up 9-2. Well, the good news is, hope I don't jinx myself, but it should be a lot calmer game than that. Should be a lot calmer of a game than it was yesterday. As the last 2 innings, the 9th and the 10th inning, were just super stressful for me. I'm hoping that my heart rate will not get to that level as it did yesterday, but we'll see. A's have about 3 more chances to get some runs on the board. Looking at the hits for both teams, D-backs have 11 hits, A's have 6 hits. And they're actually going to leave Tur in the ballgame for the A's. The relief pitcher who really struggled last inning. And Perdomo's going to swing and miss, strike 1. That is crazy. I didn't even realize that. The D-backs scored 7 of those runs last inning with 2 outs. That's pretty impressive. It's going to be a 1-1 count to Perdomo. Here's the pitch. That's going to just clip the outside of the zone. Fastball, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Perdomo, he's 0 for 2. He walked in the first, though. Here's the pitch. That's going to be low and outside for ball 2. Here's the pitch. Gonna foul that one off. Count remains the same. Once again, it's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes to Perdomo. Here's the pitch. Now it's going to be popped up as Jacob Wilson's going to get under that at shortstop, and that's going to be out number 1. And the first pitch to Carroll is going to clip the top outside portion of the zone for strike 1. Corbin carries 1 for 3. He got the show started with that solo shot. Home run parade. That's gonna miss outside for ball 1. One ball, 1 strike to Corbin Carroll. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be a big swing and miss at a splitter. That's low, outside the zone. Gonna be 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's gonna be an opposite field hit for Corbin Carroll as well. And that's gonna be off the wall all the way to the warning track. Somehow this ball is carrying for him. He's gonna try going for 3. He's gonna slide into third with a triple. As Corbin Carroll, he's breaking out of the slump today. What a great performance from him at the plate. As he almost had his second home run of the game. Just hits the top of the wall. And he gets into third base with another triple. As that is absolutely one of his specialties. Rounding second base and hustling to third base for the triple. And it's now going to be a runner at third base with 1 out. And here comes Gabriel Moreno. He homered in his last at-bat. He's going to be ahead. 1 ball, no strikes. And that's going to be another wild pitch as Corbin Carroll breaks for home plate. And he's going to get there safely as the wild pitch has just haunted the A's so much today. It's now going to be 10-2 in favor of the D-backs. And that's going to be a fastball. It clips the outside part of the zone for strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes to Moreno. No runners on. And Moreno's going to call a late time as that pitch does not count. As I think for the A's, they're just looking for Tur to eat up some innings. He's at 20 pitches so far. I'm not sure how much longer he'll go. in this relief appearance of him. Once again, 1-2 strikes after Moreno called time. Here's the pitch. Gonna miss downstairs on the cutter. Ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be fouled down the line. And honestly, D Prasad, I don't know if you're still in here, but I 100% understand if you just want to take off. I mean, I know you were just here to see the A's win, and it's not looking very great. So I appreciate the conversations, but feel free to step out anytime you need to. Just focus on the job right now. It's gonna be a full count to Moreno. I really appreciate the conversations, and I had a great time chatting with you. Um, and if the D-backs, like I said, if you ever put your money on them or you put your money on a team that's going against the D-backs, I'm more happy to commentate the game for you. And I'll be here every time the D-backs play. And that's going to be ball 4 for Moreno. He's going to get on base just like that. And you gotta think Tur's not going to be in this game much longer. I know the lead seems very out of reach anyway. Maybe the A's don't care at this point. The pitching coach is going to come out for the A's and talk to Tur, but there's no way he goes too much longer. Now going to be a runner on first base, so 1 out. And here comes Nolan Arenado, who had also another home run of his own. It's going to be 1 out, runner on first. That's going to be a cutter, misses low and outside. And here's the pitch to Nolan Arenado. That's going to miss downstairs. Ball 2 on the fastball. Two balls, no strikes to Arenado. Here's the pitch. That's going to be another ball for ball 3. Cutter misses outside as Curry is just not looking very solid today. 3 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a fastball right down the middle. Great recovery from Tur. That's going to be strike 1. Three balls, 1 strike to Arenado. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be just actually misses the bottom of the zone on the cutter. I thought it might have clipped it, and the A's would have challenged that, but maybe at this point, they're not as urgent to do that. It's going to be runners on first and second with still 1 out. That's going to bring up Eldemaro Vargas. He's going to take an outside splitter for ball 1. And Vargas having a very nice game, too. He's 2 for 3 with a single and an RBI double. Just done a great job of putting the ball in play, and has another opportunity to do that with runners on first and second. Here's the pitch. It's going to be upstairs and away for ball 2, as Tur is just not able to find the zone right now. 2 balls, no strikes to Vargas. Tur sets. Here's the pitch. That's gonna miss low. There's another ball for Tur. The cutter misses low and away. And Hayden Wenger butchered that for sure. He's gonna be warming up in the A's bullpen. 3 balls, no strikes to Vargas. Here's the pitch. And that's gonna miss inside for ball 4. As Tur is just not finding the zone right here. Just not a great appearance from him. Just definitely one he's gonna want to forget. It's now gonna be bases loaded, 1 out. And here comes James McCann, who hit the 2-run shot earlier in the game. That really, kind of started to put this game out of reach. He's 2 for 2 today with a single, 2-run home run. He also walked. And a big chance to do more damage. That's a fastball right down the middle, though, for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike, Tur sets. Here's the pitch to McCann. That's going to be a swing and miss. As now he's going to be down 0-2. After he takes a big hack at the splitter. No balls, 2 strikes to McCann. Here's the pitch. He's going to take that one as a splitter misses low for ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes to McCann. That's going to miss in the dirt. Great pick by Jonah Heim, though. Behind the dish. He saves a run, potentially. It's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, I agree with that, Deeper. So I don't think he's going to go too much longer in this game. I mean, that's what you were talking about. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. As Tur just needs to throw a strike at all costs, no matter what. Tur sets. And McCann is actually going to call time to break up that rhythm. As the D-backs are just being super annoying this inning. Just not giving Tur any chance of getting out of this inning. They just want to put as many runs on the board as many runs on the board as they can. And here's a big full count pitch. That's going to be fouled back. As McCann stays alive. Once again, count remains the same. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Big at bat right here. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball. And it's going to be past the diving glove of Jacob Wilson. And McCann is going to get an RBI single right there. As the bases remain loaded. 1 out. And the D-backs extend their lead 11-2. And that's going to bring up Mark Kotsay. He's finally going to get his pitcher out of there. And just an absolute atrocious performance from Tur. Definitely one he's going to want to forget. And just like that, 11-2 Diamondbacks. Jeez, man. I don't know how... I understand that the D-backs have an insane lead right now, but... I wouldn't give up yet. I mean... You're essentially giving up by leaving Tur in the ballgame. Like, I don't really understand that. In my opinion, I don't think he should have ever went back out there. But we're going to go to a commercial break as it's going to be another pitcher for the A's. Let's look around the league. Haven't done that in a while. As the Nationals are absolutely going to win this game against the Rockies. They have an 8-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th. Reds actually came back to take the lead against the Mariners. They're winning 5-3. The Cardinals did get a run across, and they now have a 1-0 lead against the Angels. They're winning in the top of the 7th, so hopefully the Angels can come back in that one. Alright, it's going to bring up Tim Tawa, who has a chance to get more runs across the board for the D-backs. That's going to be a slider that misses low and away for ball 1. That's going to be a check swing. They're going to say actually goes around it for strike 1. It's going to be 1 ball, 1 strike. And Tawa's going to foul that one off. Going to be strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ranger looking to just limit the damage here. Get out of this inning without giving up any runs. There's going to be another foul ball from Tawa. Huanger. I have no idea how to pronounce that last name. Juenger. Interesting. That's going to be a fastball that misses upstairs. Going to be ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes to Tawa. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a drive to center. That's going pretty far back. And that's going to get off the center field wall. That's going to be an extra base hit. 2 runs are going to come in to score at least. And it's now going to be a 13-2 ball game for the D-backs. As when it rains, it pours. Now there's going to be runners on 2nd and 3rd. But still 1 out. And the D-backs are leading 13-2. Now it's going to bring up Ryan Walshman, who had his first MLB career home run in his last at-bat. That was absolutely amazing to see. He's going to first pitch swing at this. He's going to get pretty under it, though. Very aggressive swing there, but that's going to be a fly ball to center. And it looks like McCann's going to try coming home to the plate, and that's going to be a sacrifice fly. And it's now going to be 14-2 in favor of the Diamondbacks. As I think Ryan Walshman he wanted to do it again. I mean, that was a great pitch to swing at. It's not like he just swung at nothing, you know. He was going to try to get another home run. That's a great pitch to swing at, but just gets a bit under it. Does get the sacrifice fly RBI nonetheless. And once again, 14-2 lead for the Diamondbacks. And that's going to bring up Tyler Locklear. As he looks like he's going to be pinch hitting for Cattell. No balls, 2 strikes. He's down early. Locklear, he's been pretty steady ever since being called up. You kind of want to see him hit the ball a little bit better than how he has been. Um, but he's down 0-2 early in this at bat. Yinger. That's how they're pronouncing the last name for the reliever, not Wanger. Yinger. Okay, that's a lot easier to say. Yinger is up 0-2 in the count to Lockley. Here's the pitch. And that is going to be a ball low and outside for ball one. I'm sorry, it's not going to be a runner on third. Just second base on that. There we go. And here's the 1-2 pitch. That's going to be slider. He fouls that one to the right. One ball, two strikes. That's going to be another foul ball to the right side as he's just trying to battle against Yinger. We'll do it again. One ball, two strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a big swing and miss on the changeup. Comes up empty. That's going to be strike three. As the D-backs are now leading 14-2 as we head to the top of the seventh inning, as this game is getting very out of reach for the A's. And we'll head to the top of the seventh. I believe Carrillo is going to come back out for the D-backs. He looked pretty solid in his first inning, his first major league baseball inning. Especially with this lead, I don't think there's any hurry to go back to another D-backs pitcher. So a lot of defensive changes. Looks like Jorge Barrosa is going to go to right field, Vargas to second, and Tyler Locklear will be at first now. As I mentioned, Carrillo is going to go back out to the mound. It's going to be Donovan and Walton to start the top of the seventh. Here's the first pitch to Walton. That's going to be in there. Strike one on the sinker. Oh, one is the count. Here's the pitch. Going to be high and outside on the cutter. It's going to be ball one. One ball, one strike. It's going to be strike two on the cutter that just clips the outside of the zone. Nice pitch from Carrillo. One ball, two strikes to Walton. Carrillo's set. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss outside. Splitter that's well outside. Ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's going to be a big swing and a miss on the splitter. As he just rips at that one, but it comes up empty. That's going to be out number 1 on the strikeout. As Walton was way in front of that one. Not very balanced on it. Here comes Tommy White with 1 out. That's going to be a cutter that's high and inside. Ball 1. One ball, no strikes to Tommy White. That's going to be in there for strike 1 on the sinker right down the middle. And tomorrow, a very interesting game. We have 1 game versus the St. Louis Cardinals on the road. As we're making up that game, as it got delayed, Tommy White's going to rip that right to Nolan Arenado. That's going to be a catch for out number 2. Because one of the games got delayed when we went to St. Louis recently, we're making that game up. Just a 1 game, and then we're going to go to Washington for a road trip. It's very out of character. So I'm hoping that doesn't really mess up our rhythm and just how our players are playing, you know? Instead of having an off day, we have to go to St. Louis and play 1 game, which is pretty stupid, but whatever. No balls, 1 strike to McNeil, 2 outs. That's going to be fouled back for strike 2. But as I was mentioning today, you know, looking at the Cardinals game today, the Cardinals are not far behind us in the wild card race, so it's going to be a very big game tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Here's the 0-2 pitch to McNeil. That's going to be high and outside for ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes. That's going to be upstairs for ball 2 on the fastball. Count is even at 2-2. Barrios sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be fouled to the left, out of play. I will say, though, it is very, very uplifting to see the D-backs putting up this many runs, you know, especially with a big game against St. Louis tomorrow. Just to know that our offense is still clicking in some kind of way. Hopefully we can just carry that momentum. That's going to be an outside sinker for ball 3. It's going to be full count. Lawrence Butler awaits on deck if McNeil can get on base. That's going to be a shot to right field. Just gets out of play. As he was in front of that, just needs to straighten it out and that'll look good, but that's going to be a foul ball. The count remains the same, full count. Three balls, 2 strikes to McNeil. That's going to be a chopper. And Locklear's going to feel that. He's going to underhand that to Carrillo as he runs over. And that was honestly a tough play by Carrillo. As it took a while for Locklear to get that to first. And just like that, McNeil's going to get the first base safely. That's going to extend the inning. Locklear tried shoveling it with his glove, which also kind of slowed it down. And when Carrillo was looking for the bag to put his foot on, kind of looked away from the ball, and I think that's what also made it hard to catch. But it's going to be a runner on first, 2 outs, and here comes Lawrence Butler. He's gonna foul that one off for strike one. Hello, Nicole. Welcome to the stream. I will be honest, this is probably going to be a pretty lackluster game. The rest of the game, unless the A's can somehow provide a miracle comeback, it's going to be 2 strikes, no balls for Lawrence Butler. My day isn't pretty good. I mean, not complaining about this baseball game. Looks like the D-backs will get a 3rd straight series win in a row, so cannot complain about that. And that's going to be upstairs for ball 1 ball 2 strikes. As it looks like no one is still warming up in the D-backs bullpen, so it's going to be Carrillo for the rest of the inning, it looks like. That's going to miss. High and outside on the curveball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is going to be the 36th pitch for Carrillo, so pitch count's getting up there. Just needs to get out of it right here. Here's a 2-2 pitch. That's going to be a check swing on the splitter. That's low, but he holds up apparently. Three balls, 2 strikes. So I am actually a Diamondbacks fan. That is the reason for commentating this game. It's going to be a full count pitch to Butler. Here's the pitch. That's going to be well inside for ball 4, and Carrillo struggling a little bit now. Now going to be runners on first and second with 2 outs. I'm pretty much a fan of most of the Arizona teams. D-backs, Cardinals, Sun Devils, the Tucson Sugar Skulls. But essentially on this channel, I'm going to be covering the D-backs since they pretty much play every day. And they're going to be the team I cover the most on this channel. And I just started like 3 days ago, so still fairly new, so I apologize for messing up with my words, just not making the right call, but it's going to be runners on first and second. 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Jonah Heim in the 9th spot. He's 1 for 2. Had a nice double in the 3rd. As he's looking to get some more A's on the board. Just looking to make this closer than it is. And here's the first pitch to Jonah Heim. And that's going to be strike 1. Sinker clips the inside part of the zone. Honestly, I don't know if I have a least favorite team. That's going to be... Oh, that's going to be an opposite field hit down the line. And Jeff McNeil, he's going to come in to score from second. And just like that, the A's have a little bit of a rally going. It's now going to be runners on the corners. And the A's score a run right there to make it 14-3. As A's just looking to chip away each inning. As that went down the third baseline, just jumps over the bag. Here comes the pitching coach to talk to Carrillo. I mean, I would say I'm just a baseball fan in general. I don't really like, oh man, I hate that team, you know? I mean, I can say as much as I want that I'm not a fan of the Dodgers, but like, if I really think about it, I don't hate them. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not one of those fans. Obviously, for playing them, they're not on my good side, you know. But Um, I'm not like hate watching them every single game, hoping they're losing and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure. Oh, you like Cleveland? How is Cleveland doing? I'm gonna have to check at I have to check out the standings. That's gonna be ball one to Jacob Wilson. He's looking to keep this rally going. As I mentioned, I'm a pretty big baseball fan, but I do tend to pay more attention to the National League teams since, especially right now, the Diamondbacks are kind of fighting them for the wild card spot. And Wilson's gonna check that one. He's gonna get a piece of that for strike one. Let me look at the Guardians right now, though. Right now, they're second in the wild card spot. 6 games above 500, so they're doing pretty well. And that's going to be chopped to the pitcher. Great job by Carrillo to corral that, and that's going to be a throw to first to get out of the top of the seventh. The A's do get a run across, though, and it's now 14-3. But still a great lead for the D-backs, looking to get this third straight series win as we go to the bottom of the seventh. I got you. Nicole. Okay. Isn't it insane how well the White Sox are doing this season? Like, you knew it had to happen eventually. Just they've been so bad for so long, but do the Guardians play today? Let me see. They do. They played later today against the Twins. Okay. How are the Guardians doing in that series? Are they trying to win it today? Or I want to say it was the Guardians where like Joe Ryan gave up like an insane amount of home runs against the Guardians. I saw that recently, so I'm assuming the Guardians did that to him. Nice, Jose Ramirez is back. That's huge for the Guardians. The Guardians, they do have a pretty fun team. I will say that. I will say that. But yeah, the basis of this channel, if since you're new, is I honestly started like 3-4 days ago when it comes to commentating baseball games. I'm just gonna every time the D-backs play, as long as it's not on Apple TV or Peacock, I'm gonna be commentating the D-backs game live. Um, and just giving updates as I watch it. That's gonna be it's gonna be ball one, but I think the catcher's gonna be challenging that for the A's. It's gonna be I think they clipped it though for strike one, and it did. That's gonna be strike one. As Perdomo's down 0-1. That's gonna be an opposite field fly ball to left field. And Cortez is gonna get under it. And that's gonna be out number one. I will say I do like Travis Bazana, if I'm saying his name right. I like Bazana, I like Chase DeLauder. Especially at the beginning of the season. DeLauder just looked like he was going to be the home run leader this season. I mean, he's still mashing the ball, but it's now going to be 1-0 to Jorge Barosa. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I think I remember seeing that injury. That was tough for him. So I'm glad to hear that he's back and healthy. That's going to be huge for the Guardians. I mean, they have a decent lineup. That's going to be 3 balls, no strikes from Barosa. The Guardians, I think they're pretty solid even without Jose Ramirez, but it does put a lot of pressure on the other hitters when Ramirez is out. And that's going to be ball four for Jorge Barosa. He's going to get on base right here. It's going to be one out and a runner on first. I think if the pitching can kind of be solid for Cleveland, they're definitely going to make the playoffs. But their pitching has to be solid. And that's going to bring up Gabriel Moreno. He has a run on first, so one out. Going to be ball one. And it looks like Max Kepler is going to be pinch hitting for Nolan Arenado. He's on deck right now. Going to be a strike in there right down the middle for strike one. 1-1 the count. And that's going to be poked in the right field. And Lawrence Butler, he's going to corral that pretty easily for out number 2. Thought that might get to the warning track, but just dies down before it. Yeah, but I'll make sure to pay attention to that Guardians game later today. Here comes Max Kepler for a chance to do some damage. I have loved seeing his bat as of late. He's been killing the ball lately. Gonna be strike one though. Here's the pitch. It's gonna be a low changeup. Gonna be 1 ball, 1 strike. I think so too, honestly. It's just honestly, it really depends on the other teams. There's so many good National League teams, and that's gonna be popped up to Tommy White at third base. And that's gonna be the end of the 7th inning as we go to the top of the 8th. And here comes Jonathan Loaizaga to relieve Carrillo. It is still a 14-3 lead D-backs. Yeah, as I was saying, I think the D-backs, they have a really good shot at making the playoffs and doing well. But they just have to stay consistent. Like I said, there's just so many other National League teams who are hunting for a wild card spot. We have a big game tomorrow against St. Louis that we're making up that got postponed earlier in the season. But yeah. Let me look at the series against the Twins that you guys have been playing. Okay, so it's a 4-game series. And you guys are up 2-0 in the series. You guys won on Monday and Tuesday, so that's nice. But I assumed it was a 3-game series. It's a 4-game series, so you guys win today. You guys get that win, which would be nice. And it looks like that game is going to be starting soon in about 20 minutes, so I'll try to take a look at that while I'm commentating this D-backs game, because I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer for the A's, but this game is pretty much over. So I appreciate you for chatting, because definitely makes the blowout games a bit more exciting, or the streams at least. So I appreciate the conversations. Yeah, the Dodgers, and even though the Dodgers keep winning World Series, they're still signing insane players every single season. I know Kyle Tucker hasn't been amazing this season, but even a name like him in the lineup, it's gonna cause pitchers to worry about that. Here comes Jonathan Loaizaga though. This has been very solid for the D-backs this year. Just looking to throw up a 0. As the A's have 2 more chances to get a rally going against the D-backs. Loaizaga sets. Here's the first pitch to Henry Bolte. He's going to pinch hit for Soderstrom. That's going to be a strike 1 sinker in there. I will say though, the Dodgers do not look as good as they did last season. I will say that. I know they're dominant in the West Division right now. They have a very great lead, but in my opinion, from what I've seen, I do not think they're as scary as they were last year. 1-1 is the counter. Bolte. That's going to be a line drive right to Locklear at first base. Nice snag from him, and that's going to be out number one. As the A's are 5 outs away from losing the series. My bad. It is the top of the eighth, not the seventh. There we go. Hey, you never know. The Guardians could go farther than what you think they're going to go, so. But if that were to happen, I mean, that's not a bad season at all for the Guardians, I think. No balls, two strikes to Max Muncy, who's also going to be pinch hitting for Langoliers, as I think the A's are just trying to get at bats for their bench players. Maybe a 1-2 count on Muncy. That's going to be a big swing and miss at the low changeup in the dirt. Not even close to that one. That's going to be out number two for strike three. That was such a wild World Series in 2016. I remember watching that in high school. That was insane. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of rooting for Cleveland. I know everybody was kind of rooting for Chicago because and that's gonna be a ground ball to second. Throws the first for out number three. That's a very quick inning for Jonathan Loaiza, guys. We now go to the bottom of the eighth. 14-3 D-backs. What was I saying? I mean, obviously, I know everyone was pretty much rooting for the Cubs because it had been so long since they won a World Series, but also Cleveland. They hadn't won one, in so long too. So I was kind of rooting for Cleveland. I'm not gonna lie, and especially after that, I forget what game it was in. I'll never forget that Raja Davis home run to like tie the game. I think it was in like I forget what game it was. Was it like Game 6 or something? Like it was a very big moment though. Like that was honestly one of my favorite moments of that World Series. Game 7, okay. Even better. That's insane. Oh my gosh, Game 7? That makes it even like so much more of a pivotal home run then. That's crazy. Wow. That was no matter, I know you were probably disappointed with that series outcome, but that was such a great World Series. That was one of my favorites to witness. Here comes Eldemaro Vargas. He's 2 for 3. He's had a solid game at the plate today. That's gonna be ball one upstairs. Wow. Questionable strike call on the cutter, low and inside, but that's gonna apparently clip the corner for the umpire. It's gonna be strike one. And off of a Roldis Chapman, that's even more insane. That's gonna be strike two, as Vargas does not like to call in that changeup. Oh my gosh, that was not even close to the zone. This umpire, geez, man. Okay. It doesn't matter. Vargas reaches down at that one. He says, you know what? You're going to call those pitches. I'm going to swing at whatever you got. I'm going to take it in the center field for a blue pit single. That's going to be a base hit. Great job by Vargas. He's 3 for 4. So not only off of Aroldis Chapman, but Aroldis Chapman in his prime. Like, that's incredible. Here comes James McCann, as that was the 15th hit for the D-backs today. Just a great offensive showing. And here comes James McCann. He's going to challenge that strike call. I think it may just clip the top of the zone. Oh my gosh, it did not. What a great challenge by James McCann. What a great challenge from him. Sorry I doubted you, James. He is 3 for 3 today, also having a very solid game. That's going to be a ground ball down the foul line for foul, strike one. Yeah, that's incredible, honestly. Off the slider. I mean, that has to be the highlight of Rajah Davis's career. That's going to be a swing and a miss on the slider. Strike two. That's going to miss high and outside. Jonah Heim's going to challenge that, though. I think he's going to lose this one, but at this point, they have two challenges. I think they're just trying to burn one. Why not? And that's going to miss outside for ball two. No worries, Nicole. I appreciate you for sticking around. As I mentioned, I mainly just commentate the Diamondback games, but I'm also down to just talk baseball in the chat. So whenever you want to, feel free to pop in. I appreciate that. I appreciate your conversation. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope the Guardians take another win against the Twins today. So I'll be watching that one for sure. Yeah, take care. That's gonna be strike three for McCann. It looks like. Here comes Tim Taw, who's 2 for 4. It seems like most of these Diamondback hitters have just had a very solid game at the plate, so you'd love to see that. He has a single, hit a 2-run double. He's going to be down 0-1 though in this count. That's going to be outside for ball one. One is the count. That's going to be a shot to opposite field. It's going to be right at Lawrence Butler, though. What a great job by him to run that down. That was a shot off the bat. Great exit velocity. It's going to be 2 outs. Here comes Ryan Waldschmidt. And Waldschmidt takes a cutter. That's just going to clip the top of the zone for strike one. Ryan Waldschmidt's 1 for 3. Obviously had that big home run to give him his first one of his career. And that's going to be a shot to left field for a base knock. Just past Jacob Wilson at shortstop. And he's also having a great game today. Love to see that from the kid. Maybe runners on first and second with 2 outs. Here comes Tyler Locklear with runners on the first and second. He's down 1 strike. Make that 2 strikes now after the slider takes. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be chopped foul. It looks like Brandon Garcia, the left-handed pitcher, is going to be warming up in the D-backs bullpen. Who was just pitched. He's been one of my favorite bullpen pitchers, honestly. Whenever he comes in the game, he just locks it down. Doesn't make you worry at all, which is great for a fan, you know. Just going to miss upstairs for ball 1. Obviously not a high leverage situation right here, but still nonetheless great for him to get some more work. The young left-handed pitcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes, a lot clear. That's going to be a shot in the right center, opposite field, and that's going to bring Vargas home, actually, for another run for the D-backs. What a great piece of hitting by Locklear there. Not a great pitch to hit at, but he just throws his arms out there and pokes one out to right center. And he gets Vargas in from second base. Wow. Now it's going to be runners on first and third, 2 outs. And it actually looks like Kotsay is throwing in the towel. He's going to bring in Carlos Cortez from right field. From left field. He's going to come in to pitch and try to get this last out against the D-backs. Right, here comes Perdomo. He steps into the box, and at this point, Age is looking just to end this game. Let's see if Cortez can get out of it. Here's the first pitch. Maybe ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And Perdomo just in front of that as he fouls that down the line. Strike 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And a miss upstairs, ball 2. Here's the next pitch. That's going to be flied out into right center. Butler's going to get under that. And Cortez does a nice job of just getting Perdomo out right there. And just like that, the A's are down 12 runs. Need a big rally right here to give them any chance. And Brandon Garcia will be coming out for the D-backs as we head to the top of the 9th inning. D-backs still up 15-3. Well, not still up. They actually did get a run on that Locklear single, so Hard to keep track, honestly. Alrighty. Actually, that's going to be a first pitch swing from Donovan Walton. That's going to be an extra base hit for the A's to start off the top of the ninth. As Walton had an excellent base hit in last night's game in the ninth inning. He was able to get the third base on the triple. And does it again pretty much. This time gets the second base on the double. And it looks like Eldemaro Vargas is actually going to be coming out for the D-backs to pitch. I thought it was going to be Brandon Garcia, but it looks like D-backs are going to throw out their own position pitcher. And maybe that's why Walton got on the base so easily. It's going to be 1-0. The count to Tommy White, that's going to be a curveball. It's also inside for ball 2. And the A's is trying to get any magic going. That's gonna miss outside for ball 3. And I get Torey Lovell just trying to save a bullpen arm, but if Vargas doesn't start throwing strikes here, let's pull him. Gonna be runners on first and second with no outs now. That's gonna bring up Jeff McNeil. Did they just call that a strike? Oh my gosh. That was an insane strike call. Nowhere near the zone. It was well high. But McNeil has that go against him, and he kind of has a chuckle about it. And then he's going to fly that one up the center. As Vargas finally gets an out, that's going to be 1 down. With runners on first and second still. Here comes Lawrence Butler. 1 down, runners on first and second. He's going to crank that one to right. That one's going back. And it's going to be off the wall. And Donovan Walton's going to round third. He's going to head home. And that's going to be an RBI, a long RBI single, I believe. And it's now going to be 4-15. Runners in the corners. As Butler just cranked that one out. I thought that might get out for a second. Surprised Barossa did not make that play, get the catch, but nonetheless, runners on the corners, 1 out. Here comes Jonaheim. That's going to miss upstairs. 2-0's the count. Now it's gonna be fouled back. What a great pitch from Vargas there. The fastball landed on the inside of the lower portion of the zone. Great location, honestly. And he's gonna hit Jonaheim. Now the bases are loaded, 1 out. I think if we don't get this next guy out, it gets scary. Let's just put in a pitcher. I don't like this. I don't care how big our lead is. Like, come on now. Here's the first pitch to Alika. That's gonna be a strike in there. Great pitch. So 1 out. Bases loaded. Gonna be outside for ball 1. And for those that just joined, it is a position player on the mound, so yes, the bases are loaded, but the D-backs have thrown in the towel, pitching-wise as well. And that's gonna be ball 3. Okay. At this point, get somebody in the bullpen. I don't care. I do not care. That's gonna be a fly ball from Alika. That's gonna be hit to center, and Walton's gonna get under that for the out. And that is going to be a sacrifice fly as Tommy White runs in to score the 5th run for the A's. But just like that, 2 outs, and the A's are down to their final out. Great job by Vargas, honestly. He's not doing bad. It's going to be runners on first and second now at 2 outs as the A's cut the lead to 10. Here comes Henry Bolte. He takes a ball. That's going to be cranked to the right center gap. And Bros is going to run that down for the final out. What a great catch by him. And just like that, the D-backs are going to take the final game in the series, 15-5. What a great offensive showing by them today. And just like that, the Diamondbacks win their 3rd straight series. They went to LA, took them down. St. Louis comes down, they took them down. And I was about to say Oakland. The A's come to town and they take him down as well. And so far, the D-backs have a lot of momentum in this team going right now. And they're going to look to take it to St. Louis tomorrow for a 1-game series to make up a game they missed that was postponed earlier in the season. And 17 hits for the D-backs. Love to see that out of them. As I believe there was 5 home runs. One of them including Ryan Waldschmidt's first MLB career home run. And just a great offensive showing. Kind of took a while to happen, but once it did, starting in like the 5th or 6th, it was over from there. And Merrill Kelly, you know, he looked pretty solid for the most part. He kind of did what needed to be done. Kind of got high in the pitch count, but especially with this D-backs offense that, you know, showcased today, he didn't really need to do much on the mound. And with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning into the ball game. It was a pretty boring game to commentate towards the end. I mean, I'm not going to complain about a D-backs win, obviously. But I appreciate the people who were having conversations with me in the chat, just talking ball. Once again, I am all for talking baseball in the chat, especially when the baseball game is not as exciting. It's a blowout game, you know. So with that being said, that's going to be the end of the series against the A's. I will be back tomorrow. I believe the game starts 2:15, I want to say. Tomorrow, I have to double check that in St. Louis. But I will be around streaming that time as well for that game. Yes, 2:15 tomorrow in St. Louis, so 5:15 Eastern. It's going to be a Brandon Pfaadt on the mound versus McGreevy, who just recently came to town and pitched excellent against Arizona, so should be a pretty good game, hopefully. And yeah, with that being said, great win for the D-backs today to get that series win. third straight series win. Love to see that, especially in this national wild card race that's heating up. And yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate everyone who tuned into the stream, who tuned in to me commentating another game. I'm enjoying it. I feel like I'm getting better and better little by little each stream. And yeah. Hope each and every one of you guys have a safe day out there. Take care of yourselves. Drink lots of water. And with that being said, I'll see each and every one of you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you guys for tuning into the stream again. Means a lot to me. And yeah, have a great day. I'll see you later.